So we wrote this film, and somewhere while we were pitching, there was this whole, thought that, a woman director, it's not easily acceptable. Talking to Shahrukh from a lover boy, romantic guy, he's taught all of us how to love, and then now he's moved to this whole action.
People take offense very fast.
Yeah.
Right now, even for Pathan, just because Deepika Padukone wore an orange color, those
God.
got offended.
Yeah. When we are presenting, when we are pitching a brand campaign, they don't want to look at you. They want to look at the man who's in the room. I have to consciously, try and, make sure that they get that I'm not someone who's just here to, be eye candy or, just be there and just do ha-ha-hee and have coffee and...
You realize in Oppenheimer, although it's an adult film, there's a scene of Florence Pugh where she's naked and they have fake black.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. And I'm watching the film and I'm wondering, what is she like? Why? 3-4 years old, and I realized that, okay, there's this man called Shahrukh Khan and, I'm in love with him. For this cringe dialogue and, this Himesh is delivering it and all that. And so many of my friends who are watching Tarak Mehta, okay, these are like...
Yeah.
We ball.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode on Lads on Air. This is episode 7, and today we are joined by a very special guest. We have Shifa Bhati. So, welcome to Lads on Air.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Good. Just finished a lecture with you guys. So it was pretty interesting. But yeah.
So let's just get right into the podcast.
Yeah.
So just to let the viewers know, Shifa Bhati ma'am is our professor. She is a screenwriter. She's a teacher. She is an ad writer. And let's get to know a little bit more about her from you.
So essentially, I don't want to go by labels, professional labels at least. But what I like to call myself and, identify is essentially as a storyteller. And so far in my career and life, I've tried to be a storyteller. I want to tell interesting stories. I want to pick out the best from the lot. And the last 10 years, straight out of college, I've been just working. I worked in different agencies, advertising agencies. I got into content writing. Then I sort of, diverged into this whole screenwriting space, and I wrote my first film. And now I'm back to writing ads. I worked in corporate, so I did a lot of brand campaigns. Now I'm back to advertising, and I'm writing a lot of ad films currently. Yeah.
Wow, you have a lot on your plate. So let's get started with the first question that we have. Now, looking at your experience, you work in corporate, you work as a freelancer, you do ad writing and stuff, you write campaigns. Why teaching? Why would somebody want to get into teaching after doing so many great things?
Yeah, so my teachers have had a great impact on my life. I went to boarding school, so they're as good as my family. I'm in touch with a lot of them, my school teachers, and I had an amazing life with them. It's just been great, all the memories that we share. But when I went to degree college, I had really bad teachers. They were...
We are experiencing something.
Yeah, so I always felt like, what is wrong with them, I mean, if they've signed up for something, why is it that, you can't just make it interactive for the students? Why can't you just make it fun? Why does it have to be, always so technical? So back in those days, I realized that, somewhere down in life, I would want to, take up this visiting faculty or try teaching, and let's, it'll be like a fun challenge. And then I got this opportunity and I was like, let me go have fun with the kids right now and just see what they're up to. And, it's a good interaction with the Gen Z. You get a lot of perspective. You get to see the world from their point of view, and it's pretty interesting.
So you have been a great teacher to us, at least for the whatever lectures we had. Have you had any experience teaching before this?
No, actually, this is like my first teaching gig ever. But yeah, it's been 4 lectures now, so pretty much fun.
Time.
Yeah.
We got a podcast with you, so everything's good.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, we know there's always been a bias in all the industries
Yeah.
related to work. So, what were the challenges you faced as a woman? Was it easy? Was it hard?
So, one thing, my director and I were having a conversation. Both of us are women, girls. So we wrote this film, and somewhere while we were pitching, there was this whole, thought that, oh, a woman director, it's not easily acceptable. So they could accept a woman as a writer, but the fact that you give a whole ship to a woman is still not very accepted in this industry. So while we were pitching, it was always like, oh, probably you could give us a story because the story is pretty interesting, but maybe we could, think of another director. And why would you give your baby to someone else? So we had to sort of fight on in that aspect. In terms of corporate and, advertising, I didn't face a lot of challenge, but somewhere, when you enter a room full of men, they, profile you, they sort of bucket you, which every human being does after a point. But then it's just that they want to, when we're presenting, when we're pitching a brand campaign, they don't want to look at you. They want to look at the man who's in the room, and they want to address the man with the feedback. And sometimes it's very annoying. But then I consciously speak to all these men, because a lot of these corporates, the marketing teams and all, they have these CMOs and everyone. So you have to sort of maneuver, and you have to do that extra legwork to get them to speak to you, because you've created this campaign, you've written the script, and they need to tell you directly what the feedback is. You don't need to tell my boss. If I'm presenting it to you, you don't need to tell my account manager who's sitting here. He's done nothing. He's just, liaising between two parties. But tell me what the feedback is. So initially, somewhere I feel they get a bit intimidated looking at a girl also. Sometimes because I look young, they, don't want to take me seriously. So sometimes that also, sort of backfires for me. But then the moment I start talking and when I'm very confidently presenting is when I have to, I have to consciously change the mood of that, meeting and that setup. I have to consciously, try and, make sure that they get that I'm not someone who's just here to, be eye candy or, just be there and just do ha-ha-hee and have coffee and just, compliment the other people of the team. I'm the one who's got the idea on the table, and I'm the one you're talking to.
Okay, wow, that was a very good answer. Yeah. I can relate with the age thing. People don't take you seriously even when I work, or even Ronnie or me or anybody else doing this right now. People don't take it seriously just because of the age that we have. So yeah. Okay. So the next question that we have is towards your experience. So what, like you have spent, I think, around 10 years in the industry. What was your most rewarding experience, or what was something that you look back upon and say that was my biggest achievement or something like that?
So, I think everyone tries to, feel like they're looking for that moment where they feel like they've arrived in life, this is it. So I thought when I'll be signing that contract of my film, I'm going to be feeling stuff. So I got ready in the morning. I'm on my way to the production house. And I'm like, oh, today I'm going to sign my film. And it's happening. And, we've written it and all. I didn't feel anything. I felt like blank. And I was like overthinking that why am I not feeling anything? Because this is
too hard to get it. And now that you
no, not really. I don't know. Like sometimes I think as you grow in life, you just feel like, okay, this high point is going to come. But when you're at that high point, you feel like, okay, this has happened. But then, sometimes you're like, I don't feel much. And then I'm like, okay, what is it that, what is it going to make me feel like? That day was supposed to be my day, right? Yeah. And I was pretty surprised that I'm not feeling anything. And then after few months, we finally decided like, okay, the shooting schedules were out and everything was there. And my director friend, she called me over and she said, you have to come for the shoot and all. And I reached Goa. And when I was on set, and when I saw that the characters that I've written have finally come to life, they now have a face. They now have these, characteristics which I had defined. All the nuances are in place. The set is in place. There's a house which has come alive with the characters I've written. That was the moment I felt like, okay, this is happening. This is a rewarding experience, as you would call it. But yeah, somewhere I've arrived in life. And the next thing was obviously when I saw the film on the big screen. So we had a screening and I enjoyed it. I mean, I know I've written it and, but I wasn't biased at that point. I just felt like, I'm in the, whatever I've written, where I felt like the audience should feel something, they were feeling something. Yeah. So the emotions were in place. There were reactions. I'm not saying everyone was laughing or everyone was just, getting it right, but there was a connect. And if you start the film, it hooks you up and you want to watch the rest of the film. So that's the point where I felt like, finally I have, that power over people where I can make them sit in a place for 2 hours and, take them through a world which I have created. And yeah, obviously when I travel, I think that's the most, like, if I don't want to do anything in life, I just want to travel somewhere and just, spend all this money I'm earning on travel.
So, ma'am, like, if we do something, say we sing a song and then we listen to it, we find out mistakes in our song. We find like, oh, this is I could have done better. So,
Yeah.
like there are two types of people when they see their outcome of a certain project. They're like, they either enjoy it or they try to pick out the points where they could have done better.
Yeah.
So, like, what category do you fall in? Is it that when you're watching your, say, your own movie, like, here I could have done better, you just enjoy the overall experience and it came to life?
So when I saw it for the first time, I was very critical. I was like, oh, I could have done this, or, we could have done this. We could have tweaked something here and all that. When I saw it on the big screen, I realized that a lot of things get eliminated, because the first time I saw it on a TV, on a big screen, like a big TV. But it wasn't giving me the experience that a theater gives. So a lot of times we fail to realize, like, a lot of times, people have gone and watched the most random films, but they've come out with good reviews. Because, theater does that to you. When you watch it on screen at home, it's a different experience altogether. But the second time, I was more considerate towards myself, because I was like, no, I'm not saying it's the perfect piece of art, but, we've done something here. Yeah.
That brings me to a question, like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer cinemas or theater? Like, movies or theater?
So, OTT obviously has its own, all of us have, fallen for it and everything. And post-COVID, I think somewhere people are going back to theaters. We missed that whole experience. And OTT is comfort, of course. I feel like there are certain films and stories that are now, being limited to OTT, and they've got their audience there. Theater has become more of spectacles now. So, like, we saw the Jawan trailer, we're seeing Oppenheimer, we're seeing Barbie. So, now theater is opening up, then the whole South Storm. So, theater has now become like an experience, and people want to go and see something larger than life there. So, while OTT is giving a lot of food and fodder to, younger artists, newer names, people from outside the industry and everything, I feel there's space for everyone now, and there's space for every type of, of cinema and every type of story. So, it opens up. So, you can't pick one. But yeah, if I have to go and watch a film, and like, I would definitely go and watch Jawan, in theater. I will not go and watch it on screen. It just doesn't cut for me. And similarly with Oppenheimer, I mean, I would want to watch it in an IMAX, and I would want that whole experience. So yeah.
I believe that before COVID started, everybody used to spend time and go to theater. So filmmakers had that interest.
Yeah.
Because it at least according to me, whenever you go to cinema, there are at least 100, 200 people sitting. You don't know them, but you spend the next...
Yeah, it's a collective experience. It's so much fun. Yeah.
There are 300 people watching a film you made. I think they've lost that motivation that you want to show films, or you want to do something cool and show it to them. So they've lost their duty that 300 random people will sit in a theater, because you won't do that on a normal day. You won't just pick up somebody.
Yeah, I mean, my brother sent me WhatsApp videos, when the day when Pathan released. So he was at Gaiety. Gaiety is this cinema and Bandra. It's been like, the temple of in the Bollywood films and all. And people were literally garlanding the poster. And there were drums, there was, whacked out crazy stuff happening there. But it was such a collective experience. Like, people still go and throw money on the screen. Like in South, they still throw money. They'll, throw coins. So there's a different experience altogether. Like, obviously, if you go to a PVR and you go to another, Inox and all, the audience is still like, chill. But I went for Pathan at PVR, and over there also people were like pretty, hooting and screaming on and off, and they were very thrilled to see Shahrukh on screen. So
controversial thing that people are saying that OTT is destroying cinema, like, as an overall.
Yeah.
Like, people going to the theater now, they just want to watch it on the comfort of their house, and it's destroying the overall experience. Do you agree?
See, like, initially I felt like, OTT is probably, eating into this whole chunk of cinema, because, I think Mani Ratnam has clearly said that he doesn't want to do any OTT, or he wants to make films. So a lot of people argue that, PS1 could have been better off as a series than a, 3-hour long feature film. There are a lot of people who've aligned, like, Amir Khan has this whole policy, like Lal Singh Chaddha, he didn't really want to immediately, release it on theater, on OTT. Yeah. He took his time, even though it was a flop in theater, but he took his time, and then after a point of time, he gave it to OTT. So there are certain people who are very specific about, I don't want to mix and match with OTT so easily. Then there are these other set of actors who are doing great on OTT. They want to do their shows, they want to make their money, and they want to, they want to mix and match. So the point here is that OTT is eating a bit, but I feel in the end, everyone will find their set of audience. And there will be, like now if you see, everyone is looking forward to watching certain films. But what it's doing, there's a clear, bifurcation now. So in a way, it's good. It puts bread and butter on a lot of people's table.
Yeah.
It's not doing a lot of harm, but then I feel after a point, you would want to go out with your family and watch films, right? It is a collective experience. You would want to go chill with your friends. How many days will you be holed up at home? And post-COVID, all of us just want to get out, because that's how, at least Indian audiences, we are people who want to be out of the house. Firstly, we live in matchboxes. Look at the psychology also. We don't live in mansions. So, after a point, you want to get out of your house and you want to do things and you want to interact. And plus, us lifestyles as such, we have very active social lives, irrespective of your age, irrespective of where you come from. So, where are these points where I can go and, chill with my friends? It could be at a film, it could be at a food court, it could be, doing games at Smash together, or I don't know, it could be a lot of things. So that avenue is now going to be lost. And like Shahrukh said, people will always come to theatre and watch films. It's not going to, stop. It's not going to, you will have buzz here, but it's not going to, I think they'll probably, fit like two pieces in a puzzle. It's not going to overlap too much.
Right now, the problem we are facing is we lack some friends who want to watch movies with us. Instead, they go out somewhere else and watch movies. So yeah, that's the problem we face right now. We have friends, we have movies ready, but they cannot watch it with us.
Busy people, yeah.
So moving on, now that we talked about OTT cinema that is there in India, what do you think is the future of films in India? Do you think it's going to get better, or is it just because I don't think there's been a big drastic change in how we shoot films or write films? This is right now, classic Indian films are, you have an actor, you have a heroine,
The
you
base
have three
plot,
songs.
the base plot of every Bollywood commercial movie is romance. Like that is it. Action in romance, comedy with romance. There has not been any soul this thing other than Kashmir Files, Kerala Story. So some of them, but usually for a commercial hit, the base plot has always been focusing on the romance.
So see, the thing is, what we lack now is like, we have actors, who are good actors, but they don't want to, get out of their set caricatures. They don't want to do something that will defy what they've been doing for so many years.
They don't want to risk it.
Yeah, they don't want to risk it.
Right now also.
So see now Shahrukh from a lover boy, romantic guy, he's taught all of us how to love, and then now he's moved to this whole action hero space, but that is something he did. It's not very new, We saw him in Bazigar, we saw him in Anjam. We've seen the negative shades, Kakatola Kiran. He's done all that, and now he's sort of moving back to that whole action hero space, which is fun, which is nice. And, it's a rewarding experience, and we are up for it. But if you see, in Hollywood, like a Tom Hanks, or these, other actors, Nicolas Cage, they really go out of their whole spell. They would, really do indie movies.
Invent themselves to do.
Yeah, like Jennifer Lawrence is suddenly done a rom-com now. I mean, so everyone's trying to experiment. What we fail at is we want experiment. Now, I'll give you this one small thing my professor had told me in the film class. One big actor was told to play a father. Okay, now as per his age, he can play the father. He's fit to play a father. But there was a scene in the film, in the screenplay, which said that the daughter gets her first periods. And the guy, the actor, has to sort of, teach her how to, use a sanitary napkin. And there's this whole scene between a father and daughter. And it's an important scene because you want to break a certain stereotype. You want to set it right. Okay, it's not a mother-daughter thing. Maybe the father can also come in and, guide the daughter right. Which you see in a lot of Bollywood films also. But this actor, this A-lister actor, refused to do the film, even though it was a nice slice of life, emotional film. But because of this one scene, because he said, I don't have that sort of an image. So why would I want to, screw that image up? So the whole film went down the drain. It never happened because of that one scene. Because he didn't want to be, doing, because it made him uncomfortable. More than...
Good for him also.
Yeah, but he didn't want to break from his image. It made him uncomfortable. So he just said no.
See, we have another problem. We take the smallest thing from movies and we make it a controversy.
Yeah.
So people are scared to do anything out of their way.
No one wants to break out of their mold. That's the problem. There's a set image of an ex-actor because see, for us now we have branded them and we've got them in a certain shape and we just look at them in that lens. We don't want to break away from the fact that these are humans. They have different shades, and these are actors or not. Like we've treated them like demigods. So it's not their issue also after a point because they also don't want to then break away from that image of theirs. So it's an audience's perception also which is hampering them from taking these experimenting decisions.
Now, building on what he said, how people take offense very fast.
Yeah.
Right now, even for Pathan, just because Deepika Padukone wore an orange color,
Oh,
those
God.
things got offended.
Yeah.
So even colors are offending you. Maybe that is why we won't progress as
Exactly. I mean, see, like,
because even the color of a dress, if it offends a particular group of people, that's very scary to do anything.
Do you realize in Oppenheimer, although it's an adult film, there's a scene of Florence Pugh where she's naked and there's fake black.
Yeah. And I'm watching the film and I'm wondering what is she like? Why is she draped in this black piece?
So Nolan wanted the
Although it is adult,
Yeah.
yet people will still, they'll be like, why is she naked? Like, it's a very...
So they did that for a lot of countries who are not okay with nudity, which is fine. Okay, there are certain, precedents.
Intended that to be there.
And we have Christopher Nolan. He does everything, like he gives it thought, like proper thought.
Yeah.
And then even the Bhagavad Gita scene is very controversial that he said the entire thing while having this thing. But we know that Christopher Nolan, if he's doing something, he has thought about it. He wouldn't just do it for the sake of doing it.
So, see, the thing is, as a collective audience, what India is facing right now is, apparently you're supposed to evolve, but that's not really happening. We are sort of suddenly going back and there's this whole frenzy of, associating and, harping on the past and just crying over it after a point, which, just sometimes it gets a bit annoying that, okay, things happened in history. Firstly, we don't know the right history. Half of our history is, God knows what.
It's mixed.
It's mixed, it's opinions. And go back in history and see how history was, yes, there is history that has been documented. A lot of it is just oral stuff which has been just passed from one person to the other person. So if I tell you, it's all Chinese whispers after a point, right? So where do you draw the line? Where do you figure out, what do I want to get offended with? Okay, you can have a character, you can have a belief, and we can all respect that belief. But then it's just, after a point, it's appalling, that people are even thinking that, a girl can't wear an orange bikini. I mean, I know so many girls who have on bikinis and swimsuits and they're going all over the world. So what are we doing?
I mean, does the industry actually, take this controversy in their own way of publicity? Because, see, first they were very rarely controversy, but they were serious. Now there's controversy for every movie that is released. And I know somewhere or the other, the filmmakers, they
See, I think after a point, it's not bothering them. They know it's not going to make a difference to their life. It's just going to generate more buzz. See, any sort of PR is PR, right? Good, bad, anything.
Publicity is like
it's still publicity.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, even though people are going and screaming their guts out, I remember My Name is Khan.
Yeah.
The kind of controversy that was happening, I was
beautiful.
just watching news and everyone. And even at that point of time, I remember people were like, it's a Shahrukh film, we're going to go for it, we're going to watch it. And I think all of us just went and saw it. And there was nothing wrong with that film. Yeah, but there's always these people, there are always these bodies. I don't know from where they emerge, who pays them, who's funding all these ideas. There's a whole Twitter lobby. It's toxic, but yeah, it's the dark reality of life right now. And I think it's a generation to generation also. I think a lot of millennials and, Gen Z and all are aligned in a different way. And then if you go up, they have different thoughts. So we really don't know what people are at.
So is this why you think maybe Indian films are not given the right respect or attention compared to Hollywood films? Is this the reason maybe, or what are the reasons that Indian films are not given the right amount of attention or even the validation that, you put out a film or you
I
did
think
something?
the problem is, it's not that we don't have talent, we don't have writers, we don't have actors, we have everything. We don't have the right producers. The producers are the people, I think, after a point, they come and screw things up because they want something that is commercial and that will sell. and उनको पैसा चाहिए,
Correct.
रोकड़ा चाहिए. So in the end, it's about how much do I sell and how much do I make. It's a business. It's a profit and loss business. So if it, aids me and I make money, so I'm okay with it. So there was this whole trend of, we had this whole Govinda trend, auntie number one, coolie number one. It worked. Govinda was roaming around in yellow suits and everyone was enjoying, right? So then we had this whole Priyadarshan trend. He made back-to-back films and we still watch it and it's so much fun because, you want to leave your life behind and you want to watch some good, funny comedy. And comedy is the toughest genre to write. And then now it's like, so there are a lot of things that have been infused, the elements, there's a lot of impact as to...
People just want money, right? In short.
No, money also, and there's been, political intervention as well as to, like Hitler had done that, right? He had the Nazis, during his time, he got these Nazi directors to make films that support his agenda. So there has been that infiltration. People somewhere deep down have aligned themselves to a certain way of, like a Vivek Agnihotri wants to make those films and in the end he wants money, right? He doesn't care what he's making and what it does to people. So there are these, and there is a jingoism wave that is going on. So it's feeding people's egos, it's feeding people's homes and families and everything. So people are going with it. Now you can either be on that side or you can be on that side or you can be somewhere in the middle. Somewhere I feel Karan Johar, he's somewhere in the middle. He's playing it safe. There's a Shersha that comes and then there's a Rocky Rani and then he... and see, you can't blame him, right? There is an authoritarian power that's over you somewhere. You are supposed to behave or there will be tax raids like Anurag Kashyap and, what is the other, Tapsi Pannu and all. They had their tax raids and if they spoke against the government or not in favor of them, so then you're, grilled for no reason. So there are these controversies. And see, on the other side also, if you see the show called Jubilee, so they show like how the Russians were sort of coming and, trying to get in this whole communist agenda. So, there were films from that side. Then there were, people from America and they had their agenda. So there's always this money funnel that comes in, from different countries, from different resources. And that's how, films are done. So in the olden times, like I told you guys, there was a lot of this one guy who once, Dilip Kumar ka Ganga Jamna, and they're all like doing things together collectively. So there was this whole communist wave to doing things, and now there's a whole capitalist agenda. Then there's industrialists who are running a lot of things and calling the shots. So it's a mix and match of things. And you can't blame the politicians also. It's just the way the world is right now.
It's just agenda. Everyone has
Yeah, everyone has agenda. There's a lot of propaganda, and that's how the vote bank also works, right? The vote bank wants to see these sort of films, put other people down and then feel good about themselves. Deep down, everyone wants to feel superior about themselves, right? No one wants to feel. Everyone wants to feel I am of a superior human. I am of a superior caste. I am from a superior religion. So why religion and caste? It just makes you feel good about yourself. Even though you're a loser and you're unemployed. What difference does it make? I'm feeling good about myself, right? And desktop journalism has started because of these social media channels. Anyone can say anything and get away with it. You can be this faceless person and have opinions and just walk.
Yeah.
Going to the more cinema experience. When you go to watch a movie, what do you expect? There's a certain thing that if you pass this criteria, every person has a different criteria. So when you watch a movie, what do you want the outcome of the movie to be?
I think this would be subjective. Let's
Yeah.
say if you go to watch Pathan, let's take an
Yeah.
Pathan, or let's say Jawan. Jawan will everybody's watched Pathan.
Yeah.
So if Jawan is coming out, what would you have an eye for? We all watched the trailer today. So what would you be looking out for? As since you're a writer, you've worked in things, so you know.
You know what? It's a very wrong question to ask me because I'm a big Shahrukh fan.
Oh, same honor.
So the moment it's Shahrukh Khan, I am in the theater. So my family and I, it's a different cut from the question, but I grew up watching Shahrukh Khan films. My first film was Challeneges, but I was sleeping. I was too small that time. So I had no idea. My mom just went with my auntie and they saw the film. But our first film with my full senses was DDLJ. And that was a point of time. I was, I think, 94, 95. I was like 3, 4 years old. And I realized that, okay, there's this man called Shahrukh Khan and, I'm in love with him. Yeah. So I just knew that I love this guy. And my family had this one rule. Any Shahrukh film, we have to go to the theater and we have to watch it. So, and that's been the trend since we've grown up now. It's been years now. All the films we watch in the theater, the baddest of baddest films, they'll say, yeah, nahi ho jab tak ye jaan, thoda, okay.
Very much.
Yeah. But they're like, okay, chalo, theek hai, Shahrukh, okay. Yeah, chalo, theek hai.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Like my mom literally on his birthdays went and bought all the DVDs. That time we used to have DVDs. She got all the, high quality DVDs of all his films. And she was like, okay, it's his birthday, so let's just watch his films. And my family was like super chilled out. They never really bothered about, like, they were like, okay, study, do what you want, get good marks and all. They were fine with it. In fact, when my sister was giving her board exams during college, my auntie would show her a movie every day. She would be like, okay, you're done with your studying. Okay, don't stress, just come and watch one film. And then we'll think about your studies later. So, yeah, my family is like pretty...
That tells us more about why you got into this profession.
Yeah, and despite being in that... so, I was fully into films. Like, I remember watching all of the Jackie Chan films with my uncle. I remember, like, we used to watch a lot of things, everything. With my nanny, I used to watch, like... she would watch random stuff on Doordarshan, which is not even, like, translated. And I'm just watching and I'm like, okay, there's something happening here and all that. But then I didn't realize that I want to be in this space. I was always like, oh, I want to do advertising. I'm a mass media student. I want to do advertising. And then, I want to work in an ad agency and I want to write campaigns and films and ad films. And then one of my regrets, like, was that why didn't I start my film course earlier? Like, I did it at the age of 26. And that's what I realized that, I could have done this very early in life. Like, I did a creative writing course from Xavier's and then I stopped and then I got so busy in my career that I completely forgot that I want to do another writing course or want to venture. I just passed by Actor Prepare and I was like, okay, let me go check this place out. Because it's right behind my house. And I just passed one day. And I was like, okay, I should have done this earlier. Because probably I would have...
There's also big point. There's this 2 months course they do.
Yeah.
So as there, I think last summer only.
Yeah.
That was my first step towards anything for my acting career.
Yeah.
And I went there and I just felt, in place. Like I felt a part of it all.
Yeah.
It's just, I've been meaning to ask you, like, whenever you're making a movie, like say any movie as whatever, what is that one feeling that is constant throughout it? Like, you feel something. Like I know for me when I'm making short films, I just feel this certain peace in my mind, like I'm doing something right in life.
Yeah.
Like sometimes in engineering, I feel out of place. But there, no matter what the story is, no matter what I'm doing, even if it's just the work of a spot boy, I just feel
yeah, you feel like you belong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think, even with me.
It's a safe place to be. You're comfortable.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, this is what it is. Like, since I was a kid, I was only telling people stories. Like, I would just cook one up or I would listen to someone else and I would go and tell, or my grandma, my nanny would tell me something, my auntie would tell me something. And, like, we had, like, a big family and everyone would just keep talking. And then you have friends and everyone's, like, I remember in the nights, we used to always have these ghost story sessions. And there was always something on the else that was happening and it was so much fun. And then when I got this stance that, okay, why don't I create my own stuff? Like, everyone used to tell me, like, whenever I'm saying a story, people would be, like, really into it and all of that. So, I remember one of my seniors in corporate also told me, Shifa, when you tell us a story, we're just, like, into it, like, you have this talent. So, I was like, yeah. So, I just know that this is the space I belong, like, that people are connecting with what I write. And I'm creating a world of my own, which is very interesting for me. And I just like disconnect. I mean, I zone out. I'm in my head, even though I'm here, but in my head, I'm there. I'm in that world. And this whole, it's like a drug, you're in a different world altogether. And, it just pulls you in.
Okay, the last question from my side.
Yeah.
Why is acting as a career still, it's like, really you want to be an actor? Like, there's so many things you can be. Why actor? Like, it is a career. It is a, like, if you become
it's a legit career, yeah.
Like, there's nothing better than that.
I feel it's just, people don't want to be part of your struggle. they want to be part of your success. So the moment you tell them that I am, going to be something, they are going to be looking at you like, oh, okay, are you sure? Do you have that? Because obviously, in our country, actors are like the ultimate. But the moment you've done it, people are going to be all around you, and then they're going to come to, try and get a share of you, which, it's sad, but that's how, the reality is of life.
So I have a few more questions lined up, after which we wrap up.
Yes.
So I think this line of work, does it pay well? Is it good?
Yeah, so films, even advertising.
Or even advertising?
Yeah,
Specific
yeah.
advertising.
So advertising, when you start, it doesn't pay you well. But then obviously you grow and, they... See, in the end, if you're someone who can ideate, who can put the best ideas on the table, you will be valued, right? Like tomorrow, if they come up with a planet B, they will need someone to market it, they will need someone to brand it, and they will need someone to tell you, they will need stories to tell you that it is the best planet, now you need to move out of Earth, right? So that is where people like me come in. So it pays well. Obviously, you start at a low pay scale, but then you move. And then when that happens, it's pretty sorted, yeah.
See, like now, maybe some ads might give you a lot of money. So how do you manage the creative and commercial aspect of filmmaking or screenwriting or even ad writing?
Creative aspect as in?
Like when you're getting a lot of money is being thrown at you. Like how do you manage the creative and commercial aspect? How do you
satisfy a creative side too?
Yeah, so see...
The company is extremely stupid. Let's say we are marketing this shop here.
Yeah.
10 lakhs to ad it. I'm giving you...
See, that's always an issue, like even... Like someone told me a very funny story. They said that I met someone at a party and they said that one of their uncles writes for Himesh Reshamiya. So he's been writing these Himesh Reshamiya films and he's written that, I don't know, there was some trailer called where he was playing some Ravi Kumar character.
Like from the movie, of course.
But there was one more,
Just cause Ravi Kumar.
I
saw the trailer. It's like
bad
as Ravi Kumar.
Yeah. And it's got this cringe dialogue and, this Himesh is delivering it and all that. And, so, and I'm like, she was a bit like, okay, what is my uncle doing, like he came to be an actor in Bombay, but he couldn't be an actor. And then now he's just decided to, then he got into writing, he wrote one film and then now Himesh has just had him for like so long. And it's just been back to back, he's been writing Himesh films. Yeah, I know.
तुम्हारे शरीर में इतना खून नहीं होगा
जितना मैं
रवि कुमार एक बार में मुंह देता that is an actual dialogue.
Yeah.
It was that and it became a meme all over.
Why? It's a meme. I don't know where that film is gone, but the meme is there.
It entered cinemas. Like they
Oh, it released. Okay.
So Exposure released.
Yeah.
Releasing everyone was there.
Yeah.
Then they decided, I think 10 years later, that they're going to make a spin-off on Ravi Kumar. And they repeated the dialogue in the trailer like it was the biggest plot point of the film. Yeah. It was nice.
So like we were just like trying to like, so while she was a bit embarrassed about it, we were like, dude, it's good. I mean, it's paying, right? And she's like, yeah, because he's really paying him. And it's not, there's no money, is not an issue. But then, he's writing these films. So while it's good to tell someone at a party that, oh, my uncle writes films and all that, the moment she has to explain, she finds it a bit embarrassing, whatever. But we were like, dude, it's helping you. It's helping your uncle. So she's like, oh, he's not able to move out of that space. And I don't know. And I'm like, okay, So a lot of times people do things just, just for the money.
That's what I like about Bollywood.
It's like, see, everything is not so serious. Everything is not your baby. Everything is not like we wouldn't do that to a film, right? Because we wrote it and all that. But this is an ad. There are 10 parties involved. Everyone thinks differently and everyone has their own, deadlines to meet, things to push off. Now, if they want to make something stupid and they're going to get off our back, so be it.
Well, this is what I like about Hollywood. In Hollywood, there are many actors who will do one film for the commercial audience and one film, they want indie film for their creative satisfaction. So they divided, like for Robert Pattinson, he did Twilight and everything, it was a commercial success. No matter how bad, Batman was again commercial, but then he did many other good times.
Yeah.
And he did many indie movies just to satisfy his, as an actor, I am an actor.
Yeah.
So that is something I wish
but then
Bollywood had.
What we consciously try and do, is that see, we'll write it in a way that does that brand justice, does that, makes them feel good and they are aligned to their brand ethos and everything. We will try our best to give you the best product, but then in the end, if you just want to, clients do like stupid things and they have stupid demands and then they have a lot of people on their head. So, ठीक है.
So, man, A24, the production house, they make movies in Hollywood. These very offbeat movies, very weird movies. But if, say, someone in India decided to open up something similar for these kind of films, would it work in Bollywood? Like, would the audience take it?
I hope so. I mean, you guys are the hope. I mean, I hope you all take it up at least, because if the older generations are not opening, they are sort of shut. I mean, they're not willing to evolve. They've set a precedent for themselves and they are okay with the way life is going for them. And a lot of people become like that out of circumstances, right? You are working at the same job, you're working for years, you have a set life, you have kids, you have things to look into. So a lot of people in general tend to get, like I have so many of my friends who are watching Tarak Mehta. Okay, these are like,
Hey,
and I'm
it's
like,
good. It's not wrong. See, at least why personally I watch.
okay, you also watch it.
I don't. Do you watch Shahrukh Khan?
No, I never.
I can't bear it.
See, why I watch it, because
Yeah.
after a tiresome day of coding or work, I
So,
just want brain.
see, this is exactly the point. So a lot of my friends have come to this conclusion that they want to watch something, and it's not only them, it's me also. There has been a point of time where I've just come home and I've been like, and my husband's like, what do you want to watch? And I'm like, dude, I just want to watch something where I don't have to use my brains. Okay, so
There's nothing wrong.
but all said and done,
I don't watch it every day. Only when I'm tired and
I feel like, you cannot be that person all the time, right? But a lot of audiences, a lot of people are they become that person all the time. Like, I'm not someone who's going to watch, I watched a show called Selling Sunset. It's real estate show on Netflix. There are these glam dolls. They're selling real estate. And I was working in real estate. So I just want to see, what sort of shows are they doing around real estate. And it's like these glam doll women, they've been models and actresses, failed strugglers. Now they've decided to, sell real estate in LA, and it was my guilty pleasure. I mean, everyone has a guilty pleasure. But then you cannot completely be just watching crap, right? But a lot of audiences are like,
Dreams, like
yeah,
Humshackles. There's a fine. Brainless comedy is one thing,
Yeah.
but Humshackle is much more
yeah.
You can't bear it.
But like a lot of, like, I loved Kantara, but a lot of my friends,
My friend doesn't like it. I love it.
yeah, so they did not like Kantara. They were like, what is this? Why was this made? Yeah, like, and then I also felt like a bit of North Indians were probably people who are, they're not being biased, but probably they didn't get that whole, for me, it was like introduction to a new culture. Like, I don't know this world exists. So for me, it was very enticing as a film that this is some part of the world that I've not even like figured or imagined that it exists, in some small tribal town in South India. I've never been much that side. So for me, it was a new world. But for a lot of people, it was like, what world is this? Why does this exist? Like, what are they trying to do? Yeah, they couldn't relate to it. And they're like, I don't want to watch films where I have to, put a lot of brains. And so we had this whole analogy, like Kantara somewhere tried to tell you that irrespective of what your plans are, in the end, it's God's plan, right? It's God's plan. What He plans to do with the people and with the world is what is going to happen. You can have people in power, you can have people, but in the end, that, that Dev wala jo unka character bataya, wahi sab cheezein set karta hai, right? So people did not get that sort of an analogy. They were like, what is this?
Speaking of Dev, there's this one movie, Brahmastra, that has been a big deal for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was very hyped for it personally because they were taking this new turn.
I was looking forward to it, yeah.
But then I watched the movie and some people were like, oh, it's damn nice and
Yeah.
VFX. But I think people got too fixated on the VFX and actually they forgot that the entire story was
Story, yeah.
And honestly, that was a big letdown for me because it was like, there was a huge build-up for 6 years. Like Brahmastra, now it's going to start. They're working on VFX. They're going for multiple places for VFX. The huge breakdown, and then it was such a big letdown.
Yeah.
Where do you think, like, our movies, if they want to go into the mythology or super
Fantasy space.
feel?
No, in fact, we have such good stories.
Yeah, we have good.
We have so much scope for fantasy and mythology. It's just that I don't know. I mean, I saw PS1. I liked it. I was really kicked about it, but I slept at the end of the film.
It was little underwhelming.
Like a lot of people told me, how could you, sleep and everything? But I don't know. I just felt, after a point, it just got too slow for me. Could have been a series also, something that I thought of. But then I was like, okay, you want to make this film? Then I also thought that probably a Rajamouli could have made this film. It would have been, packaged differently. Mani Ratnam has always been this guy who's done, like Satya, Shadali made, but then the Tamil version of that, he's always made these love stories and the woman coming up and finally, realizing stuff and all of that. So I just felt like maybe it was not his palette or I don't know. But then, see, he is Mani Ratnam. I mean, who are we to judge? But
I mean, honestly, when I saw PS1, it might be a little controversial, but when I saw PS1, I just thought Mani Ratnam, as respected as he is,
yeah.
he used like his name as a publicity to sell a movie that would have otherwise been a pretty, like a mid.
Yeah.
Mid.
So someone who's read the books, what he told me was that it's very book to book. It's not like, Harry Potter. Every chapter is not in the film or, everything is not included. It's been selectively, fleshed out and then that's been put in the film. But the person who's read the whole trilogy told me that, it's very book to book. So maybe that's also the reason why, and in Brahmastra, I feel like Hussain Dalal, he's a writer, the dialogue writer and all. He's my senior from school also.
Of course.
So I feel like he,
Did he write all the Shiva parts?
yeah, he has a team. But then I just felt like, again, there's always this stereotyping and bucketing. Now, if you want someone to, be this Bombaya dialogues and, be this Bombaya guy and all that, then you get this Hussain Dalal on board and he'll write all the dialogues for you and all. Like, he wrote Ye Jawani and Diwani. The dialogues were amazing.
Yeah, they were.
He won a Filmfare for that. And then, this whole... so, I don't know. I feel like he's also getting typecasted into these sort of things. So, he did that Bhuvan Bamwala's show also.
Dindora.
Taza Khabar, yeah.
It was a nice.
Yeah, but it's set in Bombay again. Yeah, so I mean that's become like his forte, like it's set in Bombay, so you get he created that show, I guess. But the dialogues were very weak. I know they were a bit annoying after a point. The chemistry was, I don't know. I mean they're married, but yeah, it just didn't click. And I don't know what they're gonna do, but now they say that Deepika is gonna be in the part 2 and Ranveer Singh. So if they're like really shuffling the story and taking you back and creating something nice, then maybe you can look at it.
Is there 2 more parts? Like there's a total of a trilogy.
It's a big project.
What would be your top 2 advice for anybody getting into this field?
Area that would have this.
Say the thing is now advice
Or talk to some
Things to watch out, look out for while you're getting into it. Just thinking that I want to make a life in this.
Yeah, so see what I feel now, irrespective of what field you're in, now that I have a team who's younger than me and who's working and all, and I notice all their behaviors and I'm like, okay. Yeah. So I just feel that a lot of people now, frankly tell you they don't want to work. They're just pushing themselves through something. Firstly, they don't know what they want to do. And I'm not saying that I've not been that person, but then after a point you need to align somewhere, right? So if you're in a job and you signed up for it, then take responsibility for it and give your 200% to whatever you're doing, whether you like it or you don't like it, or you find something else that, serves you better. So the first thing is attitude. In the morning, when you see your task list, you prep your mind and you be like, okay, I have to finish this. I have to do this. Now I can either cry over it or I can just, be like, dude, I need to do this thing and, I need to get done with it. So in the morning when I go to work, I'm not tensed because I'm like, I know there's going to be work. My anxiety and everything. Initially, I used to get some anxiety. Abhi itna kaam hoga and all of that. But now I've just worked around it. I know I'm going to be loaded with shit. So might as well go with the mindset that karna hi hai. At the end of the day, these will be the tasks that I have to do. And yeah, make peace with it, get on it, finish it and get going. I mean, there's...
You get
Yeah. And see, every day you're not going to give your 100%. Every day, some days it's 40, sometimes it's 30, sometimes 10. But then, whatever you can make do, just do that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on this podcast. This is where we end the episode 7 for Lads, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast. How was it? I think this is your first podcast.
Yeah. It was very chill. Yes.
Very too formal.
Too formal, what was it?
No, it's pretty cool, yeah. Okay.
So, thank you so much for watching this episode.
And thank you if you stuck around till the very end. We know some people don't. But thank you if you stuck around till the very end.
We
Appreciate
want
it.
to thank our guest Shifa Bhati ma'am for joining us on this
Yes.
podcast. And
Welcome.
like,
Like, share, subscribe.
to the next one.